G'day there, my name's Dave and welcome to another Guitar Zero Hero song tutorial. In this lesson, I'm going to teach you how to play The 30th by Billie Eilish, which is a great tune, has some awesome finger picking parts to it. For the basics, you'll just need your guitar and standard tuning and you won't need a capo. And the guitar I'm playing in this video is the Blue Lava from Lava Music, which features inbuilt effects and an inbuilt looper, all on a 3.5-inch high lava touchscreen system. If you want to find out more about that, there's a link in the description below. Now, if you want to master your chords back to front, then be sure to head over to guitarzerohero.com to pick up my free guitar ebook. Or if you want to improve in your guitar in general, then sign up to GZ2H Premium, which is my complete step-by-step guitar course. Let's jump into the lesson. Okay, so let's start with our finger picking basics. Now, generally, your thumb will take care of the 6th, 5th, and 4th strings, and your index, middle, and ring finger will take care of the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st strings, respectively. There are exceptions to this, but I will get to them as we move through the song. So let's start with the intro, which has 2 lines of tab. So we're going to start with a G chord, and we're going to play it like this, with our ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 6th string, and the pinky finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. We're going to start with 4 plucks here, so the bass note, and the 3rd string, back to bass note, and then the 2nd string. And that last note is held out for a full beat. 1 and 2 and 3. And then for the last 3 plucks, we're going to go 3rd string, bass note, and back to the 2nd string. So the bar in total. For the next bar, we're just going to shift shapes here. It's going to be a G/F sharp. So keep your pinky finger where it is and put your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 6th string. So we're going to start with the same 4 plucks that we had in our previous bar. So bass note, 3rd, bass note, 2nd. And then we're going to go down to the 1st fret of the 2nd string with our index and then open 2nd string. So the 2nd bar. Then we're going to go to an E minor chord shape. So index and middle on the 2nd frets of the 5th and 4th strings. Or you can do middle and ring finger. It's up to you. So we're going to play the exact same picking pattern that we had for the first bar. So 4 plucks starting with the bass note, 3rd, bass note, 2nd. And then 3 more plucks, the 3rd, bass note, 2nd. So the 3rd bar. So moving on to the final bar, we hold that 2nd string out, and then on the end beat after the 1, we're going to pluck the 3rd string, the bass note. Then with your ring finger here, put it on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, pluck that, and then the open 2nd string, and then the 1st fret of the 2nd string. And that will take us to an A minor chord. But this final bar, and the first line of tab in total. So for the 2nd line of tab, we then go to an A minor chord. We're going to pluck the bass note, which is the 5th string here. 3rd string, bass note, 2nd. Hold that out, and then 3 more plucks. 3rd string, bass note, and then 2nd string. So the first bar. After we pluck that 1st fret of the 2nd string, we're then going to actually pull it off, and that takes us into our 2nd bar. So pluck that note, and then pull your index finger in a downward direction, and that way you'll get that 2nd note, like that. And then continuing on the 2nd bar, we go to a lazy G chord, so ring finger just on the 3rd fret of the 6th string. So after that pull off, we're then going to pluck the 3rd string, the bass note, then the 2nd string. Hold that out, and then 3 more notes, the 3rd string, bass note, and 2nd string. So from the pull off, then we're going to go to a D5 shape like this. So middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string and pinky finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. The reason why we're playing it like this is because we're going to need our index finger down here at the 1st fret. So we're going to start with 4 plucks here. So bass note, 3rd string, bass note, 2nd string. Hold that out for a little bit. And then 3rd, bass note, 2nd. So the bar. So we hold that out into the 4th bar, and then we have 3 more plucks here. So 3rd, bass note, 2nd, and then down to the 1st fret of the 2nd string, and then open 2nd string. So the last 2 bars. And And that's it for the intro, which sounds like this in total. Next we get to the verse, which is 5 lines of tab here, but let's break this up into 3 sort of sections. So the first section is just the first 2 lines of tab. So let's take a look at the first 2 lines of tab. Now the first 2 lines of tab are pretty much identical to the intro, with the exception of the first 2 bars, which go like this. So we're going to start with the lazy G chord here, the first bar, and the picking pattern's identical to what we had in the intro. So bass note, third, bass note, second, hold that out, and then 3 more notes. Third string, bass note, and second string. So the first bar, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then for the second bar we go to a G/F sharp, but it's just our middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 6th string in the same picking pattern. And then the rest of these next 2 lines of tab are identical to what we had in the intro. So we've already learnt that effectively. So the first 2 lines of tab, so let's take a look at the 3rd and 4th lines of tab here for the verse, which are pretty much identical to the 1st and 2nd lines of tab. The only exception here is for the last 2 bars here. So the last 2 bars are the 4th line of tab. So when we have this D5, we're mixing things up a tiny bit. So we're going to start off the same way with the first 4 plucks. So bass note, 3rd, bass note, 2nd, and then we're going to hold out for a little bit, and then 3rd string, bass note, and then hit the open 2nd string. So lift your pinky finger here and hammer on your index finger onto the 1st fret. So that will sound like this. And then to continue on that final bar, we're going 3rd string, bass note, 2nd string, hold that out for a little bit, and then 3rd string, bass note, and then you can lift everything here and hit the open 2nd string as you transition to the next line of tab. So these last 2 bars for the 4th line of tab. But everything else for the 3rd and 4th lines of tab are identical to the 1st and 2nd lines of tab. And then finally we get to the 5th line of tab, and it starts with an E minor, and this is played with the same picking pattern for the other E minors that we have in this verse. So that sounds like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we go to our D5. We're going to pluck bass note, 3rd, bass note, 2nd, hold that out, and then 3rd string, bass note, lift and hit the open 3rd string. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we go to a C chord, and we're going to pluck bass note, 3rd string, bass note, 2nd string, hold that out for a little bit, and then go 3rd string, bass note, and with your pinky finger go to the 3rd fret of the 1st string and pluck that and hold it out for the rest of this line of tab. So the final bar, so the C, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the final line of tab. And that's it for the verse, which sounds like this. So next we get to our chorus, which is 4 lines of tab here. And we're going to start with our lazy G chord. Now, in terms of our fingerpicking hand, we are going to change our positioning. So where previously we had our index and middle finger covering the 3rd and 2nd strings, we're now going to move those fingers up to the 4th and 3rd strings. And your thumb will take care of the 6th and 5th strings. So we're going to start with our lazy G chord, and the timing for our plucking is similar to the verse, but our strings are going to change. So bass note, open 4th, bass note, and then 3rd string. Hold that out, and then 3 more plucks. 4th string, bass note, 4th string. So that's the first bar, which sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we go to an E minor chord, and we're playing the exact same picking pattern. Then we go to our C chord, and we're going to pluck 5th, 4th, 5th, 3rd string, hold that out, and then 3 more plucks. 4th, bass note, and then 3rd. So that 3rd bar, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then for the 4th bar, we continue on, and we're going to pluck those same 3 notes at the end of the 3rd bar, and 1 more time. So the C all together. Now the second line of tab is almost identical except for the final note. So instead of going on that C chord, 4th string, bass note, and 3rd string, we're going 4th string, bass note, and then the open 5th string. So the last 2 bars of the second line of tab. Then for the 3rd line of tab, we're going to an E minor chord. We're going to use the same picking pattern that we had for the previous E minors in this chorus. Then we go to a G, and we're playing the same picking pattern. Then we go to a C chord, which is the same as the 3rd bar in the previous 2 lines of tab. So bass note, 4th, bass note, 3rd string, and then 4th, bass note, 3rd string. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. After the C chord for this final bar, instead of continuing on with the C chord, we're then going to go to an E minor / B. So it's just an E minor chord, but our root note is the 5th string. And we're going to be plucking the exact same picking pattern here as well. So 5th, 4th, 5th, 3rd, hold that out, and then 4th, 5th, 3rd. So the final bar, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the 3rd line of tab in total. Then for the 4th line of tab, we're going to an A minor chord, and we're going to pluck the bass note, 4th, bass note, 3rd string, hold that out for a little bit, and then we have 3 more plucks. We'll go 4th string, bass note, and at this point we'll move our index and middle finger back up to the 3rd and 2nd strings. You'll pluck that 2nd string. Then on the end beat after the 1, we're going to hit the 4th string of this A minor for the next bar. So it will sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then we're going to play a C minor bar chord. So to play that, your index finger will go on the 3rd fret of the 5th string, ring and pinky on the 5th frets of the 4th and 3rd, middle finger on the 4th fret of the 2nd string, and your index finger will bar across that 3rd fret and will be responsible for that 3rd fret of the 1st string. We're going to be plucking 5th, 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string, holding that out, and then 3 more plucks, 3rd, 4th, and 1st. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's it for the chorus, which sounds like this. So that's it for the chorus. Now in the second chorus, for the third liner tab, there is a slight change in the strings that I hit, but for simplicity, you can just play the same thing as the first chorus. And I'm actually just going to leave it at that and play that first chorus for the second chorus as well. Now the second verse is the same as the first verse, so nothing new to learn there. The next part to learn is the bridge. Now there's 2 lines of tab here. So we're going to start with the lazy G chord, so just ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 6th string. Now this is another instance where our index finger can come up to the 4th string. So with this in mind, we're going to hit the bass note, then 4th string, and then bass note and 4th string. So 1 and 2 and 3, and then 3 more plucks. The 4th string, bass note, and 4th string. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. For the next bar, we'll put our index finger onto the 1st fret of the 4th string, and we're plucking the exact same picking pattern. Then for the 3rd bar, we take our middle finger and put that on the 2nd fret of the 4th string and pluck the exact same picking pattern. Then for the 4th bar, we return back to the index finger on the 1st fret. So the only thing that changes amongst all these bars is the note on the 4th string. So it goes open, 1st fret, 2nd fret, and then back to 1st fret. So it will sound like this. So that first line of tab is repeated through 3 times, and the second line of tab starts off in a very similar way. So the first 3 bars are identical, but for the 4th bar, instead of going back down to this 3rd and 1st fret shape, we're then going to just go to a C and strum that. So the second line of tab. And we just hold that last chord out. And that's it for the bridge, which is fairly simple. The final thing to learn is the final chorus. Now, in terms of the chord structure, it's identical to the other choruses, but we are strumming the first 2 lines of tab essentially. So it condenses down to 3 lines of tab here. So for the first line of tab, we have our G, and then our E minor, and then C chord, and hold that out for 2 bars. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's repeated through twice. The second line of tab is identical to the 3rd line of tab in the other choruses, so nothing new to learn there. Then when we go to our final line of tab, for the A minor and the C minor, we're plucking slightly different strings. So for the A minor, we're just going from the 5th string up to the 1st. So 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st, like that. And when we go to our C minor, we're doing the exact same thing. So 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st string. Hold that out, and then we end the song with a nice G chord. And those are all the parts to learn for this song. So now I'll be doing a full playthrough of the song, and I'll have a vocal track on top for some context. I'll have a fellow Aussie YouTuber, Charlotte June, lending her awesome vocals to this playthrough. Be sure to check out her YouTube channel. I'll leave a link to that in the description below. Feel free to play this back as many times as you'd like to practice, play along to, and see how you go.
When
Thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this lesson, then I know you'll absolutely love these other lessons too. So hit the link here. Or if you want to grab a copy of my free guitar ebook, then head over to guitarzerotohero.com or click the link here. Thanks so much, and I'll see you guys next time on Guitar Zero to Hero. Cheers.